So wrapping it up, embolizations, we talked about endpoints. I think all three of us, we go to Stasis. Anything to say more about that? Like as far as like docs who go to substasis with the 5 heartbeats or whatever? I mean, maybe the better question is like, why did you choose stasis over substasis? Or like, has that been an evolution or that's what you always went to? We'll start with Neil.
Yeah, I trained at Mount Sinai, and there it was just sort of taught me to from the very beginning. First, just embolize. You want to embolize it, just embolize it. Just take it to stasis. So I've sort of always known that. I definitely know docs, as you mentioned, who will say like, there's just no need because really, again, you're trying to get caught in the perifibrillary plexus is probably enough to just, I've heard some people say even they'll just like do 2 vials per side and call it a day. And they say they have good results with that, but I haven't personally seen, their data or seen the follow-up images or anything like that. So I think there are obviously clearly different techniques for it. I like the idea of just being able to see that I've taken out, the artery. For sure, I want to see at least, prune, tree, at least I want to see that those fibroids are no longer filling. I think it doesn't take much more to just take it to stasis, and that's what I do.
Okay. Francis, same?
Yeah, the same thing. I think that training-wise, I think that's how it was also. And then also you don't want to over-embolize and also under-embolize. I think it gives you a perfect balance. And now with the TriNav catheters, I think you can go to complete stasis. And with that said, with the TriNav, you're embolizing much quicker. So you're not waiting for the collateralizations to form to see less stasis. So I think you can just go quickly to the complete stasis and not worry about it at all. So that has been just a standard now for me.
Okay, cool. All right, so we'll wrap it up quick with, which I think is still important, but we'll just spend a little bit of time on it. Like postoperative, like pain regimens. Like, you guys have any tips out there for like, one, how to get your patient, if it's a priority? I mean, like for instance, you're going to start having an OBL, so it's going to be a priority to get patients out of the door, and then what they're going to go home on. Yeah, Francis, let's start with you.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is the expectation, first of all, when you see the patient. Because again, every patient is different, right? So obviously, I think hypogastric nerve blocks help before, immediately post-procedure, I think it helps. I think that using TriNav tends to be helpful in a lot of patients. I think a lot of the feedback I get from different patients, again, it's very variable. Like I can't say that the TriNav helps with the pain 100%, but I feel like in talking to the patients and following them up, I think it's definitely helped with their post-procedural pain. Otherwise, we send them home with the Toradol, and we send them home with the oxycodone, and then we ask them to take Tylenol 500 milligrams every 4 hours around the clock, and ask them to take ibuprofen 400 milligrams every 4 hours, switching it between the Tylenol and ibuprofen, and then take oxycodone as a breakthrough pain, and then Toradol scheduled. Toradol first, and then once they're done with the Toradol, 3 days dose, and then they take the ibuprofen, yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, cool. Neil, same question, postoperative pain regimen.
Not so different. In fact, what Francis is describing is what I used to always do, I think, for a patient. Now I've kind of just changed it up just slightly. I think just simplified it. I don't really split up like the Toradol first 3 days and then go to ibuprofen. We're just kind of we do Toradol while in-house still, but then once they go home, then we just do ibuprofen just to keep it a little simpler. We do the Tylenol as well, do a scopolamine patch actually the morning of to help with nausea, because my biggest concern is that they're going to have that really robust post-embolization syndrome response where they'll not be able to take their meds, and then they'll sort of be forced to come back in when the pain gets worse and worse and worse. So I really want to keep them comfortable. So that's we'll do that. We'll also give them Zofran to take PRN, but I found that scope patch is pretty helpful. The block is a game changer for sure. I had many years of not doing the block and just watching. You kind of knew when the procedure was over because you could start seeing, it's almost like the pee-pee dance.
Wiggly,
but,
yeah.
You start seeing the legs move and you're like second, side is embolized, and you're like, oh, here it comes, And now I find if you do an effective block, if you do an effective block, from my experience, if you give intra-arterial lidocaine, preservative-free lidocaine after you've embolized, they don't even feel that. So that's how I know if my block, at least again, from my own anecdotal experience, that's how I know if my block was effective, if they don't feel that or don't feel much of it when I give it. So it's definitely a game changer. They don't even know the procedure's over in many cases. They may feel like a little bit of pressure if the block's effective. Having said that, I think that TriNav may be helpful with this. I'm definitely open to that idea. It's hard to tell because I found that the block has been such a game changer, in and of itself. But I think, the key is expectations, like Francis said, making sure they have, really all the meds ahead of time, or at least, when they're going home, have it in hand. And just start taking it. That night, they're usually covered by the block, but starting the next morning, I think have to make sure they have their meds, and then just have ready access to you so that if they have any questions, they call you, because otherwise, if they get nervous and they're not mentally prepared that the pain is going to come, especially, if it might come that night, right? The block wears off and then they're going to get nervous and they're going to come into the ED and all that. So I try to just really gear them up that this is going to be really bad the first couple of days, but then it's going to get a little bit better each day. And about a week out, you're going to feel like yourself again.